Hello everyone. Thank you for being here today. I'm excited to share a heartwarming story with you titled, The Great Iron Stick Adventure. If you enjoy this video, please consider liking and subscribing to my channel. Of course, if it's not your style, feel free to skip it, no hard feelings. Now, let's begin the story. It was one of those lazy Sunday afternoons when the sunlight poured gently through the curtains, casting warm golden stripes across the floor. I was lounging on my couch, trying to decide whether to nap or scroll through my phone when I noticed my two cats, Mimi and Tofu, sitting by the window. Mimi, with her fluffy gray fur, looked like a soft cloud, while Tofu, the orange one, was shaped more like a mischievous loaf of bread. They were both staring intently at something on the floor, my little iron stick, which I had been using to fix a small shelf earlier. Curiosity sparked an idea in my mind. What if, I thought, this little iron stick becomes today's entertainment? So, I picked it up and gently tapped it against the floor. Clink, clink. The sound immediately caught their attention. Mimi's ears perked up, and Tofu's tail began to twitch like an antenna detecting fun. Within seconds, they were both crouched low, eyes wide, pupils dilated like tiny black moons. I tapped the stick again and dragged it slowly across the floor. Mimi pounced first, a fluffy blur of determination, but missed by an inch. Tofu, however, dove in like a superhero, his paws landing right on top of the stick. I laughed so hard that even he looked slightly embarrassed, as if to say, that was totally intentional. What began as a simple tap-tap-tap soon escalated into a full-blown cat adventure. Mimi and Tofu decided that the iron stick wasn't just a toy. It was the ultimate treasure. Mimi, being the clever one, tried to use stealth. She hid behind the leg of the sofa, her eyes glowing like tiny lanterns, waiting for the perfect ambush. Tofu, on the other hand, had zero patience. He would charge straight at it, sliding across the tiles like a furry bowling ball. At one point, I wiggled the stick under a blanket, and that's when chaos erupted. Both cats dove in at once, creating a lump of fur, paws, and tails moving in every direction. The blanket shook violently, as if it had come to life. From under it, I heard a mix of growls, squeaks, and what I swear was a muffled meow of victory. After a few minutes, Tofu emerged triumphantly, the iron stick between his teeth. He strutted across the room like a lion carrying his prey. Mimi followed behind him, pretending not to care, but secretly plotting her revenge. I was laughing so hard I could barely hold my phone steady as I tried to record the moment. But cats being cats, the peace didn't last long. When Tofu got distracted by a passing shadow, Mimi took her chance. She swiped the stick right from under his nose and sprinted away. Tofu's face was priceless, his eyes widened, his whiskers flared, and in that instant, the chase was on again. They ran laps around the living room, across the sofa, behind the TV stand, over my legs, and even under the table. At one point, Mimi slid so fast she bumped into a pillow, sending it flying into the air. I couldn't stop laughing. My quiet afternoon had turned into a comedy show starring two cats and one very shiny iron stick. Eventually, the chaos slowed. The iron stick lay forgotten on the floor, slightly bent but still gleaming in the light. Mimi flopped beside it, breathing heavily, her tail twitching lazily. Tofu lay next to her, licking his paw as if to say, "Yeah, I let her win this time." I sat beside them, gently scratching their heads as both began to purr in unison. Watching them, I realized how something so simple could bring so much joy, not just to them, but to me as well. That little iron stick, which had no real purpose beyond being a household tool, had become the source of laughter, exercise, and connection. My two cats didn't need expensive toys or fancy gadgets. All they needed was a bit of curiosity and a partner in play. In a way, it reminded me of how humans often forget the beauty of simple things. We chase after bigger, newer, shinier distractions, phones, jobs, possessions, but sometimes the real happiness lies in ordinary moments, playing with pets, laughing with loved ones, or just enjoying a sunny afternoon. Life doesn't always need to be spectacular to be special. The iron stick, now slightly bent and full of bite marks, became a tiny symbol of that truth. Whenever I look at it, I remember that day full of laughter and chaos, and it reminds me to stay playful, to keep finding joy in the smallest of things. So now, every few days, I pick up that same stick and tap it on the floor again. The moment the sound echoes, Mimi and Tofu come running, ready for another round of adventure. Their eyes sparkle, their paws twitch, and once again, my living room turns into a battlefield of purrs and giggles. Maybe that's what life is about. Not the things we own or the plans we make, but the tiny bursts of happiness we share with those we love, whether they walk on 2 legs or 4. And as my cats curl up beside me after another fun-filled session, I can't help but smile. Because in their world, I'm not just their human. I'm the one who holds the magic iron stick that makes every day a little brighter. This story reminds us that happiness often comes from the simplest moments in life. Just like how the 2 cats found endless joy in playing with an ordinary iron stick, we too can discover contentment in small, everyday things. In modern life, people often chase after expensive pleasures, the newest phone, luxury items, or grand achievements, believing that success or happiness only comes from big things. But the truth is, peace and fulfillment often bloom from what we already have around us. Time with loved ones, laughter, play, and curiosity. The cats didn't care about how shiny or new their toy was. They cared about the fun and connection it brought. Similarly, if we learn to see beauty in simplicity, life becomes lighter and more joyful. Sometimes, putting away our screens and just engaging with the world, playing with a pet, talking with family, or enjoying a quiet walk, can do wonders for our mental health. The lesson is clear. Happiness isn't about having more, but about appreciating what's already here. Like the playful cats, we should learn to turn our ordinary days into extraordinary moments through curiosity, gratitude, and love.